And and look, let's just get to it because I know it's on people's minds. Epstein, right? I've said it. Dan Bongino said it. We've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it to us? Do you really think I wouldn't give that to you if it existed?
Hold up. Did the head of the FBI just ask, why would the FBI lie to the American people? After spending 3 hours explaining exactly how the FBI lied to the American people?
Because they got caught on Russiagate and don't care. And they wanted President Biden to win so badly, they were willing to lie to the American people. And they did it again.
That is so insane. It's so hard to believe because it's so corrupt and coordinated. The fact that 51 people would be willing to do that.
And they've doubled down on it. They keep doubling down on it.
Look, I watched the entire Kash Patel interview on the Joe Rogan show, and something felt off from minute one. The constant throat clearing before making points, the sniffling, and the "we're working our ass off" said about 15 times. In my experience, that's nervous energy. That's someone buying time to craft their words very, very carefully. And I wasn't the only one who noticed. Scroll through the comments and it's a bloodbath. My bullshit meter is going off. Being lied to is upsetting. Being lied to poorly is insulting. Kash is part of the machine now. Trust me, bro. Kash Patel for 2 hours. And here's why this matters to you specifically. Every time they spin these lies, the fallout lands on your doorstep. Your taxes go up, your savings get devalued, your future gets more expensive. But here's what nobody's talking about. This really isn't about Kash Patel. It's not even about Trump. But thank God for Joe Rogan. The comments under the interview reveal something much bigger. Something that should terrify everyone in power. The American people have figured out the game. Joe just did something brilliant. He didn't attack Kash Patel politically. He asked simple questions and let Kash say everything that we needed to hear. And in doing so, Joe revealed the real enemy isn't any politician. It's the system that turns every individual into the same politician. Look at this. Give up on Dem versus Republican. It's us versus them. We need to take back our country. Probably 16,000 by the time you see this. And this one. It's a big club and we're not in it. George Carlin's words, but the sentiment is everywhere. And this. We live in a world where the comments all know the truth, but the people in charge still continue the lie. The internet just diagnosed the real problem in America, and it's not left versus right. After 20 years watching this system as a free-thinking bystander, here's the game theory that I've noticed. Imagine you're playing Monopoly, but only the banker gets to make the rules, audit the results, and hire the police. How long before everyone else stops playing? That's where we are. The same people who investigate corruption are friends with, former colleagues of, or future job seekers from the people they're supposed to investigate. And here's the thing that's hardest to accept. They're all in on it. Look at Kash Patel, the guy who exposed Russiagate, the outsider, the Trump loyalist.
What did you think before you got in office? Did you think that Epstein was murdered?
No.
No suspicion at all of it?
But I have a different background, right?
Right.
So I was a public defender back in the day. I used to spend a lot of time in jails and a lot of time in segregated housing units, SHUs as we call them, right? And so, and I've known people that have committed suicide in these cells. And I know how you get in, how you get out, who works the system. And so the way, based on public information at the time, that he ended up, the pictures and him hanging himself, I was like, man, that guy killed himself. There's just no way that you could have run an op and had people go into that cell and not have any video of it and not have any people come out and say, hey, yeah, I saw that guy. He shouldn't have been there, the guard or this guy. There's just no access points into places like this in the detention center he was in, which I've been in.
Same talking points, same deflections, same trust me bro energy. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, insider or outsider. Once you're in the chair, you protect the chair. And George Carlin nailed it.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe.
But look at these. People are finally seeing it's not Republican club versus Democrat club. It's the club versus you. And Kash Patel just proved he's a member. Because the system doesn't just corrupt people, it selects people who will protect it. That's another club card played. And here's the pattern that proves it. Watergate. One president resigned. Handful of staffers jailed. Most pardoned or rehabilitated. Iran-Contra. Major players pardoned, continued in government. 2008 financial crisis. Banks paid fines, 0 executives jailed. Russiagate. Endless reports, mountains of evidence, almost no prosecution of government insiders. Epstein, dead, files hidden, clients never released. Want to see what accountability actually looks like? Iceland, 2008, 36 bankers got 96 years in prison combined. America, 2008, 0 major bank executives prosecuted. They got $400 billion in bailouts instead. Same crisis, different systems, different results.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I was told, what I'd read, was that the guards were not paying attention or were sleeping.
Well,
right?
And in short order, you'll see it.
Is that correct?
Well, it's hard to surmise that from a video, right? Like,
right.
Where they and look, do guards doze off on the night shift? Yeah. But no one can get in to the cell. And if they had gotten in to the cell, you would see it.
But we were told that the cameras were down.
Well, I don't know who said that.
But that was in the news.
We're giving you all the footage we have.
So why wasn't that released like immediately? Why did this speculation escalate?
I think you'd have to ask whoever the Attorney General back then was, Bill Barr.
Ask yourself this. Can you name a single high-level government scandal in the modern era where true justice occurred? Not a scapegoat, not a plea deal, real justice. I'll wait. And look at the pattern. Andy McCabe runs Russiagate, gets fired for lying, ends up on CNN. James Comey leaks classified info, writes books, does beach photo shoots. 78% of senior DOJ officials previously worked at corporate law firms. They're not investigating the system. They are the system. Same club, different card. Because here's what I see. Every system is designed to deliver the results it actually produces, not the results it promises. If you want to know what the system values, look at who is never punished and who is always rewarded. I mean, look at this. Just 22% of Americans trust the federal government. That's near historic lows. Trust in media, all-time lows across all parties. Trust in institutions, all-time lows across all parties. But get this, when trust hits rock bottom, nothing changes. The system just keeps extracting.
And we're building it back. We've done a lot in 100 days to get it back. And I think if you wait for the rest of this year, you're going to see some massive, massive actions taken over the summer.
And that's by design. I mean, look at these. It's over. Too late. Nothing ever changes. The club wants you tired. Tired people are easy to control. When everyone gives up, the machine wins. But here's where this gets personal for you. Every time they lose credibility, they don't fix the problem. They come for your money. After 2008, they added 27,000 new regulations through Dodd-Frank. Did it stop the next crisis? Nope. Did it crush small businesses while big banks got bigger? Absolutely. More rules, more regulations, more taxes, fees, and red tape. So let me ask you the question that matters. If you were corrupt and wanted to stay in power, what would you do? Would you ever let an outsider have enough rope to actually change anything? Or would you stall, distract, absorb them, and keep the show running? You know, every 4 years, we get a new hand to play, but it's always their deck. What if the next crash isn't an accident, but a payday for the club? What if they're not trying to prevent it, they're positioning for it? But here's the thing they don't want you to figure out: how to reverse the script. See, we live in a society where money, whether you think it's evil or not, good or bad, it's absolutely necessary. It's the only way to live a fulfilling life in this system, regardless of who's in office. The club figured this out long time ago. While we argue about politics, they accumulate assets. While we wait for heroes, they buy income streams. While we hope for change, they turn the system into their ATM. So instead of being the system's ATM, what if you made the system your ATM? Here's the loophole insiders use that you won't find on Google. Lock in 30-year fixed rate debt, then use asset-produced income that inflates annually to pay it off with tomorrow's cheaper dollars. The club has been doing this since the 1970s, borrowing government-backed money to buy assets that government inadvertently, likely intentionally, no, definitely, inflates. What if instead of hoping they'd control inflation, you borrowed their cheap money to buy assets that inflate with it? This isn't just an American problem. Other countries have shown it's solvable. The question is, Are you going to wait for America to figure it out, or are you going to protect yourself now? I'm putting together a small group of people in Vegas this month who get this. People who understand that while everyone else is arguing about which puppet is in charge, smart money is using the system to their advantage to grow their wealth with it. We're not waiting for the system to fix itself. We're using it against itself. If you want to join us, the details are below in the description. But here's my question for you. What would you do differently knowing nobody's coming to save you? Drop your answer below. I want to know. And if this video resonated with you, stay in touch, because next week we're breaking down exactly how Main Street investors are flipping the script while everyone else complains in the comments. The club isn't going to let you in, but you don't need their permission to win. Hey, quick thing before you go. I'm running this weird experiment where I basically pay people to do real estate deals for them, and then I split the profits with them 50-50. And you can watch this right here to get all the details. And yeah, I know it's probably the most ridiculous offer that I've ever made, but it's working like crazy. And if you're thinking there's a catch, you would be right. I can only work with 2 to 3 people per city. So if you're curious, check out this video here to see if your market's still open. Or don't. It's not for everyone. Thanks for watching though. I'll see you next time. Take care.